Welcome back to another episode of Highlander Hockey with Rocky. I'm Casey Campbell. I am your host, and we are pleased to be joined by Howell Hockey head coach Rocky Johnson, fresh off Howell's trip to the UP. Welcome back to the show, Rocky.
Well, I appreciate having him back. It's nice to be back down below the bridge here in downstate, so it's good to be home.
All right. Disclaimer: Rocky is not driving a car, just for those who might be curious. So going into this trip, a big coming from a win against Hancock. You tied Calumet. We'll start with the Hancock game. Just talk about that and going and getting the big win up there against Hancock.
Again, Casey, every team will tell you from downstate, anytime you go up to the UP, it's a difficult process. It's long for the boys. It's hard on the coaching staff. And you get up there, and those teams are always great teams. The rinks are amazing. The fan base is incredible. They do such a great job, but it's a hard road to go and have success. So we get into Hancock. We got that game, and man, that was a tough one. We hadn't played a game in a long time, and so we got in there, and they're a good, strong, scrappy team. They really took it to us, but I think the biggest takeaway for us is getting in there and grinding. We're an up-tempo team. We move the puck fast. We kind of try to light the lamp quite a bit, and we were unable to maybe get that kind of speed going. So we had to grind, and I think that was a great education for our players, our team, and to grind out a win and take a win from a great team like Hancock was amazing.
Yeah. You play, and then you come back the next day and play a really, really good Calumet team. You ended up tying them, but it's still a good result for a lot of positives to take away from that game as well.
Well, again, you go up there, there's a lot of family members up there in the UP. Half of our team has family or comes from that area. So there's a lot of stress on these young men, normally that they don't have when they're downstate. But it was great. And we went in there, and I'll tell you what, that Calumet team's young. But, man, they have no quit in them. They go hard. And, we get a bunch of penalties up there, and they come back after 3-1 and put in 2 power play goals against us. And, really that's the difference is one goes off the skate and, 2 are on a power play. And I think that's the difference in that game. But, again, we had to really hold on and play. And I thought we had some good opportunities in the overtime to put it away. But, hand it to Calumet. They're going to be good. I think at the end of the year, you're going to see them with a lot better than what people think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll talk more about this trip in a minute, because I feel like some of the highlights of the trip might make Rocky's 3 stars of the week. So let's do Rocky's 3 stars of the week. Starting off with your 3rd star.
So the 3rd star. Now, again, you know how I try to do this, right? It's hard to pick out players per se. But I'm going to tell you what, this 3rd star, we'll start with the number 3 star. We had a great hotel staff. The Hampton Inn in Hancock downtown there was incredible on Sheldon Avenue. They did a great job. They catered to us. They gave us what we needed. They provided opportunity to host some dinners after games there. They cleaned up after us. They really did a great job. So we want to throw a 3rd star out to the Hampton Inn in Hancock. They did a great job. 2nd star. Well, this is a tough one, right? So we went up to Michigan Tech, got a pregame skate on Saturday, which I think the boys really enjoyed. But I think the highlight of it was a gentleman, Max, who was their director of hockey operations. He took us around. Now, I got a shout out to Jed Patilla. He was up there, and he kind of organized this for us and was able to get Max involved with us. And Max took us around, did a great job, really helped the boys have some insight on what NCAA college hockey at the Division I level is like. And so thank you very much, Max, Michigan Tech Director of Hockey Operations. We appreciate you. And then number 1 star, listen, we hit snow on the way home. There were some accidents that we weren't involved in, thank goodness. Our driver, Dana Bennett, this guy took us everywhere. And of course, whenever you go on a road trip, there's always last-minute changes. Wow. And he just rolled with them. He did great care of us. He cleaned up after us, took us, kept us safe. He had to drive our development team around a couple of times. So hats off to Dana Bennett. He did a great job. We look forward to him driving us again when we go up to Traverse City. But that's definitely our number 1 star for the trip is keeping us safe with Dana Bennett.
Absolutely. You never know what the UP will throw at you. It's quite the experience every time. But you guys also got to do some fun activities there. You bowling in Houghton, how did that go?
It was good. You get off the bus, right? And you're tired. It's a long drive and you get there and you get kind of this moaning and groaning. Oh, we got to do, and then they get out there and the kids are coming together. They're having a ball. It's about an hour and a half or so, but it kind of clears the brain a little bit and gives them something to do. I thought it was really good. Like I said, we had both teams up there, a full complete program, and getting them all to kind of mingle together and that's really kind of the really secret sauce of these trips is the camaraderie and the team unity. So it was good. We did bowling. We didn't really keep track. I don't know. You have to ask the boys who did well. We were worried about the keys to the hotel rooms to get those to the right players. So,
Yeah,
but that was good. It
make
was a
sure
good
you
time.
don't make sure always don't put your phone and your hotel key in the same pocket. Sometimes it doesn't work like that.
It
It, it,
demagnetizes. Yep.
it bit me a few times
Yeah.
while I was in Ohio this summer for NASCAR, but yeah, it was
Yeah.
you get used to it by a couple times there. But did you bowl, Rocky? How did you do?
So I did not bowl. I did not do that. I actually was still organizing with the keys and stuff for the hotel room. And it's just about the boys. They need to get out there. And besides, they'd crush me.
Yeah, did Keith bowl?
He did not. Well, he did not.
Did any of
This
the
was a
did
player
any of
thing.
the parents bowl?
I don't believe so. No,
Okay.
this was all kid organized. Yeah, this was a kid thing, so it was good. The boys really kind of tuned it up a little bit.
All right. All right. You spoke about the developmental team. Let's get the developmental team update. It's now time for that. How did they do this weekend?
They did fantastic. They get into they played Calumet twice, and again, anytime you go to the Coliseum up there, it's a difficult place to play. They tied the first game, lots of penalties. I think Calumet scored with just a few clicks on the clock at the end there to tie it up, and then the second game they went in and the development team handedly took care of them in that game and won that game. So they came away with a win and a tie, just like the varsity did. But they did good, and again, I think this is the camaraderie thing. I think it's a good thing for the boys to come together, play somewhere where they're not used to. It was a good experience. I think that everybody really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think so. Anytime that you go up to the anytime you go up to the UP and play up in Copper Country, it's always going to be a fun day to hold. And now it's time for everyone's favorite kind of like since it's Monday, kind of recapping the whole entire week. You heard about what Howell did. Now it's time to find out. Time for the KLAA update for this week. Big week for a big week for Brighton. 3 big wins. On Wednesday on the 29th, they beat the Stallions 9-0, and then come back and get a big win over Northville 4-0. And then on this Saturday, actually went up to Saginaw Heritage and beat them 9-1. So a good week for Brighton. Heartland, pretty good week for them. Beat Novi 8-0 on the road, and then also and beat Canton 8-0. So two big wins for the Eagles, and they are and you've said before they're getting hot at the right time.
Well, I mean, the two top teams in the state, let's be honest. And they're very talented, very skilled, and both teams. So, I mean, the expectations for them are always very high. And a success model is what they deliver, and that's the expectation. So it's not shocking that they had a weekend like that. But I got to be honest, the other KLA teams I think too had great weekends, and
Yes, they
some
did.
better than others. The Canton upset I think is a really great game for that team, and we're heading into them. So they're kind of making us a little nervous here coming into Wednesday. I know we had a great game against them the first game of the year with them, but they're rolling right now. So our boys better keep their heads up because this is going to be a tougher game than I think everybody expects.
Yeah, of course you're referring to the I was going to get to that. Canton beat Salem 5-4, a big win. Congrats to Canton. That's their first win of the season. Everyone in the KLA now has at least one win so far this year. By the way, also Novi lost to the M1 Griffins 6-0 on Saturday. Stevenson picked up some big wins. They beat Plymouth on Wednesday 3-2, and then they beat Saline on Friday 3-2 as well. We of course we talked about Canton already. Salem of course got they played a really good Byron Center team. They lost 6-2, and then of course the overtime loss to Canton on Saturday. And then Plymouth getting 2 big wins as well up at Ferris State. Reith Spuffer win 7-4, and then 8-0 win over Big Rapids. And then, of course, the Livonia Red Stallions got some wins after the 9-0 loss to Brighton. They beat Divine Child 2-1, and then they get a 10-2 win against Troy United on the road. So we'll get to all these teams in a minute, but we're all gonna sit there. You guys are all gonna see each other later in the week, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But let's kind of preview the week as you kind of mentioned. December 6th, which will be on Wednesday. You guys make the way up to the PCEP campus to take on Canton. And then, of course, on December 8th, you take on the newly christened Livonia Red Stallions. And then on December 9th, let's preview those two games, and then we'll talk about the big day on Saturday.
Yeah, so I mean, anytime you come back from a long road trip like we did from the UP, it's taxing on the boys, right? And they got to get up this morning, they got to go to school. It's back at work, right? And that's sometimes difficult for high school players. So we'll get back at it today at practice. We'll have our nice hard skate, do some film review and do some meetings. And then Tuesday, the same thing. And then Wednesday, like you say, off to Canton. And again, Canton's on the rise right now. So, coaching staff's a little apprehensive right now. We want to make sure the boys are in the right frame of mind. We have some concerns about that game. I think Canton's on the rise, and I think that could be difficult. But our boys should be able to take care of that. I hope, if we come in the right frame of mind and with the speed that we're normally playing at. And we got to practice on Thursday, and then Friday, Livonia Stallions. I mean, again, two wins. It was great to see them get on the board. A KLA team. We'll take on. They're always going to be scrappy. And those are the teams that are tough for us. So we'll get in there, play that on Friday night, and then, like you said, we'll turn around Saturday for the showcase.
Yeah, let's of course the Adam Mitchell showcase with the KLAA and MIHL show off. 10 games on the docket. Let's go. We'll go through. Why not? Let's go through all of them. We start off with Canton. They take on Gibraltar Carlson. Plymouth will take on, let's see, I got my handy dandy schedule right here. They will take on Port Huron Northern. Salem will take on U of D Jesuit. The Livonia Red Stallions will take on Grosse Pointe South. Of course, Novi will be there. Well, actually, all of them will be there. They will take on Cranbrook. Northville will take on Warren D. LaSalle. Livonia Stevenson will take on Trenton. Heartland will take on Brother Rice. Howell takes on Orchard Lake St. Mary's. And then the last game of the day at 7 p.m., Brighton will take on Detroit Catholic Central. Now, I know I said the games that are out of order. We'll obviously, you can go on to MichiganHighSchoolHockey.com or find the Adam Mitchell Showcase Twitter account, tweeted out all the times and all the rinks. It should be an exciting day. If you're a hockey fan, you're all going to be there. The Fantastic Five of hockey will all be there. Of course, our friends at State Champs, who have come up with an interesting new challenge. I don't know if you saw this, if you watched Hockey Time this week, but they have this new hair challenge that you have there. What are your thoughts on that?
The flow, I know. Listen, that's a hockey thing, man. It's been like that forever. I hate to tell you what I looked like back in high school, but that's a fun thing, right? And the kids dig it, man. They get into it. Some guys more than others. And it's not just Michigan. I mean, I think it's just a hockey thing. So it's kind of fun that they do that. I like to see it.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see what kids submit. I know, those two up at State Champs always come up with some interesting things. They came up with the lineup challenge last year, and I know that's going well. I know the boys like that too, but we'll have to see. Of course, it's gonna be a fun day out at Eddie Edgar. I'm going to be out there for some of it. So it'll be my first time over there. So it'll be fun to see what's it going to be like to be part of like a complete day of just a fun day of hockey.
Well, here's the thing. It's a Saturday, right? And so it's set up in such a way, obviously, the MIHL and the KLA, again, we can argue all day long about the UP, and it's a tough place and the great hockey players and great hockey county. But I don't think anybody can make a different argument that the MIHL and the KLA are the two best conferences. And obviously that's my opinion, being part of the KLAA. I'm a little bit partial, but the two best conferences in hockey in the state of Michigan. And, if you're a scout, if you're a college scout, if you're locally, or if you're a junior scout or something like that, it's the best place to see the best players against the best teams, and they're matched up pretty well typically. And they do a great job at the rink. The rink is amazing how they deal with this. They set up a room for all you guys and the coaches, and it's really a strong opportunity for folks to see teams. And I mean, I wouldn't be lying if we didn't say the coaches get in there and try to steal some things and look at some teams and figure out who we're going to play and what they look like. But yeah, it's always a lot of times it's a preview of maybe the state finals or state semifinals, and that's what's great about this. It's very smart. It's well done.
Yeah, it always is. I've never been up there. I can't wait to be up there on Saturday. It's gonna be a busy week for me. Of course, always you know me. It's always it's either full of hockey. I could be I got there's some basketball games on the docket, but we'll just have to see how it goes. And if you're wondering where Howell is on there, Howell will play Orchard Lake St. Mary's. That will be in Rink B following the Salem and Jesuit game. As I said, a complete list of games. I put them out there. I'll probably retweet the link again so you can see all of that. So Orchard Lake St. Mary's a good team. I got a chance to see them a few weeks ago. It's a team that is very good, a really, really good goaltender with Will Keene, and Brian's always going to bring a really, really tough squad.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at on paper, they're going to be the toughest team we play. They play top schedules. They're one of the top teams, well coached, well organized. So like I said, on the paper, if you look at it, they'll be the most challenging team. That doesn't mean they won't give us a challenge or that we won't overcome the challenge, but they're certainly going to be the best on paper team that we're going to play. But I do have to tell you, we're concerned about Canton, and that's the next game up. And we're kind of concerned about as a staff. I don't want our boys to take that lightly because they're on the uptick, and we need to come out fast. So in their barn, I'm really focused right now on Canton, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I know. Well, we got preview the week, but
no, I get it, but as a coach, we got to get past Canton first, and then Livonia. But yeah, I think Orchard Lake's going to be strong. Like I said, as they present, they're the top team that we've played thus far. So we're excited for that opportunity.
Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Highlander Hockey with Rocky. We'll of course tune in next week. We'll find out how Howell did this week, and then of course we'll preview another big week for the Highlanders as they will welcome in Northville, and then and of course they'll head out to Munn to take on Grand Haven and Granville, as well as we got, and then another big week is
couple big weeks.
Yeah, it's a lot of big weeks until the holidays come around. But that's going to do it for this week. We'll talk next week on Highlander Hockey with Rocky.
See ya.